Let me conclude, and this becomes difficult.
The truth hurts. The head of the Munich Security Conference cried as he spoke. The words of US Vice President J.D. Vance about the moral decline of European elites affected him so much that he had to leave the stage. Only when patted on the back by like-minded colleagues did he regain his composure.
After the speech of Vice President Vance on Friday, we have to fear that our common value base is not that common anymore. I'm very grateful.
Liberal politicians applauded him at the time, but isn't this precisely the best picture of what Vance was talking about, that Europe today has weak leaders?
The threat that I worry the most about vis-a-vis Europe is not Russia, it's not China, it's not any other external actor. And what I worry about is the threat from within, the retreat of Europe from some of its most fundamental values, values shared with the United States of America.
But how to live if the American vice president comes and criticizes? The tears of this German liberal, I think, are a testimony to the fact that Europe is simply in a pit, that this is a testimony to the decline of Europe. He reminded me here, I think, of some kind of collective cry. Hołownia, who also cried so much over this constitution, the constitution by them is simply violated at almost every step. Christoph Heugsgen is crying now, but when in 2018, during his first presidential term, Donald Trump warned Germany at the United Nations about Europe's dependence on Russian gas, it was Heugsgen who laughed mockingly at the American leader. The Russian-German gas deal not only jeopardized the security of the people of our continent, but also fueled the Russian war machine. This is the man who, while serving as Germany's ambassador to the United Nations in 2018, publicly ridiculed President Trump's talk of what later came to be true. After all, the war in Ukraine showed exactly what Trump was talking about, namely the faithless entrusting of the German and European economies to hydrocarbons from Russia, making much of Europe completely controllable by Putin, by Russia. And Heugsgen himself is a very interesting figure. He has been Chancellor Angela Merkel's advisor on foreign and security affairs since 2005. He is one behind some of the worst decisions for the people of Europe, the gas deal with Russia and the open door policy for illegal Islamic immigrants, who literally flooded Europe under Merkel, and we know very well how that ended. He may have cried over his own mistakes because he, as an advisor to Chancellor Merkel on many key issues related to security, made huge mistakes that deserve to be wept over today. J.D. Vance made it clear, and he was speaking to all those left liberal leaders who have opened the doors wide to illegal immigrants, that the citizens of their countries do not want to be afraid to take to the streets. They are fed up with fear and terror.
No voter on this continent went to the ballot box to open the floodgates to millions of unvetted immigrants. But you know what they did vote for? In England, they voted for Brexit, and agree or disagree, they voted for it. And more all over Europe, they're voting for political leaders who promise to put an end to out-of-control migration. Now, I happen to agree with a lot of these concerns, but you don't have to agree with me. I just think that people care about their homes, they care about their dreams, they care about their safety and their capacity to provide for themselves and their children. And they're smart.
And as J.D. Vance stressed, to build a strong country you need broad popular support, which the governments of neither France, Spain, Germany nor Poland have. That's why basic democratic values like freedom of speech are violated everywhere. In Germany it is forbidden to talk about crimes committed by illegal immigrants, and in the United Kingdom you may be arrested for praying in a public place.
And across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat. And in the interest of comedy, my friends, but also in the interest of truth, I will admit that sometimes the loudest voices for censorship have come not from within Europe, but from within my own country, where the prior administration threatened and bullied social media companies to censor so-called misinformation.
J.D. Vance just didn't talk about fundamental values, he led by example. The Munich Security Conference was a lesson in diplomacy for left liberal politicians, but above all, decency.